Hello, lovely creators out there. I'm so happy to be with you today in another live stream from my beautiful home in Central America. If you're new to my world, I'm Christina Gomes, and I help transformational facilitators, coaches, mentors, healers, and guides. I help you to package up your gifts into an offer that makes waves. Who doesn't want to be highly valued for their gifts, presence, wisdom, and programs? If you don't want to be highly valued, I suggest you pop off now because today's live stream and transmission and mini training is going to be all around inviting yourself into a higher echelon of life, inviting yourself into that next level of standards that you hold for yourself, for your audience, for your life, and for your clients. And when you do this, when you apply the four essential unconventional ingredients of a high value offer into your business, into your soulpreneur journey, you're going to have a different experience as an entrepreneur. You are going to start to attract folks who don't hem and haw over the decision to buy from you. They don't pay and then fall away from the program. They show up vulnerable. They show up to the sales calls and to the sales process giving as much as you give because let's face it, you are probably already an overgiver, a high value guide, someone who truly cares about the processes they take their people through. You care about the way that you show up in your business. You care about the delivery. And this is what makes you a high value guide. And if positioned correctly, if you actually express from this deep place that already exists within you, then you will start to naturally magnetize and attract a higher caliber of client. Now, when I say higher caliber of client, you may start to wonder, oh man, am I ready for that? Am I able to hold the kind of client who actually brings it, who brings their questions, who brings their vulnerability, who brings their challenges? I know that when I was first thinking about how to make money online, I was thinking about it in the wrong way. I wasn't thinking about becoming somebody who facilitated great change and therefore was recognized in that way. And I wasn't thinking about it from the place that I now teach from, which is so much like, just so much, oh, it's just juicier. It's just a higher vibration, a higher caliber life, like higher standards have been set not only for my content creation or for my dating life, but for the way that I show up for my clients. If somebody comes into my world, they are usually wowed and they usually re enroll. Now, that is because I have spent many years focusing on the delivery. Now, again, when I was first getting started, and maybe way back when, you got the message like, hey, make money online, and this is how you make money online, and that's all really beautiful. But for you, there was something a bit off with that message. And I totally get it. Like in your gut, yes, you want to be valued and paid to create and to put yourself out there and to have world class offerings and to be recognized for the quality of work. That's a deep seated desire that maybe you haven't articulated yet. But if you're sticking around and you're resonating with what I'm saying, I can assure you that this type of desire is what is going to make your business grow in a way that is sustainable and in a way that you're absolutely proud of. So, we're going to talk about embodiment today. And so, I am embodying the wild hair moment, but I just wanted to give it a fluff. The higher the hair, the closer to God. That's what they say, I heard in Texas. but returning to those higher standards that you're setting. It is not just for your audience. Obviously, you don't even need to be talking to the trolls. You don't even need to be fluffing around with that subsect of the marketplace. It's trash. It's beneath you, like genuinely. And that's the only thing. Like your clients who are struggling, they are not beneath you. You are there to help them. But some sweat necked redneck who tells you that you're a caricature. I can't even say the word, but somebody trolled me, and I was like, "Oh, must be doing something right," and was like, "I don't see you complimenting men. My offerings and services have nothing to do with complimenting men, although I compliment the men in my life, in real time. I work major Wow, I am choosing to say big words today. I work a majority of the time with women. Yeah. And high value women, but high value women that are on the edge of what that means and embodying that kind of presence that naturally calls in opportunities, clients, students, enrollees, viewers, podcasts, opportunities, speaking engagements. You want to embody the presence of a high value guide. And here's the thing, I'm going to give you some practical tools today that's going to help you become a high value guide, because the unconventional wisdom that I want to share right now is that you can embody a high value guide completely by refining and defining and stepping in to the energy of your offerings. So, a lot of people think that their offerings are outside of them. And this is true in some way. Your business doesn't have to be based on how you are feeling in your body all the time, your whole business. And your offerings have a number of ingredients, and we're going to talk about four unconventional ones today that position you as a high value guide. And there's a lot of reasons why your offers work or don't work. And a lot of that has to do how you present your offers. And you can have the best presence in the whole wide world. You can be out there um, going viral and making people laugh and exuding your amazing presence, but you can never be valued as a high value guide unless you also up level, refine your offering and have it positioned to coincide with that energy. So some of you may need to do some refinement of your energy alone, and you already have these offers, but they're not selling because your energy isn't a match. And some of you have that energy. You're out there speaking to your audience. You're maybe already teaching workshops in person, and you want to have more of an international presence so you can bring your beautiful gifts around the world, travel with your programs, or like me, sit in the comfort of my beautifully decorated home with all the cozy, fluffy pillows and teach and share and still be internationally recognized through the power and the body of my work, through my body. And not just the shape of my body, although I am working out consistently, through my body of work. So, through your body of work, you want to lead people to your offerings, which is also your body of work. And how do we do that? Through our bodies. I was coaching my client Maya the other day because she brought such a beautiful, vulnerable transmission to the call. She was having some issues, and actually, most of my clients bring this eventually. And so I want to talk about in a very generalized way of she was bringing an issue she had in her own life, but that she also teaches on. And so whenever we are bringing a challenge to our coaches, mentors, or we're experiencing a challenge in our own lives that we teach on. Good morning. Hi, Rama. That we teach on, sometimes The thought that holds us back from expanding in our presence and our body and our knowledge and really showing up, leading people to our work or creating that next level offer that is based on our biggest challenges and how we are transforming them. We get this thought that's like, oh, I need to be perfect or have this all figured out before I can create this offer, sell this offer, show up and share about this offering. And although this offering is really the offer that I have the most experience with because I handle it all the time, because it's something that comes up for me all the time, and I'll give an example in my own life in just a moment. Um, we start to think, oh, I'm not an expert yet. I need another certification. I need to figure this out first. But your challenges in the niche or the topic that you are an expert in make you more of an expert. Because do you think, and think about it this way, do you think that people just want to hire people because they read a book about what they're sharing? Or do you think it's more likely that people want to hire you because you have real world experience with the challenge that they also have? And you have ways forward, tools, teachings, concepts, and a presence, a way to space hold so that your people have an easier time than you did solving this problem. And you do not have to have it completely solved. So, an example in my life is I grew up in a single family household. The problem I have right now is there is a tiny little bug that is trying to crawl in my mother trucking eyes. I do not think so. I am trying to teach on higher standards. If you think you are going to bother me, I am luteal. I am. You ever look at your moon cycle app and go, oh, today's the day that people should not be messing with me. Right now, the people is this tiny little bug encouraging me to be the calm within the storm. But if it touches me one more time, I'm about to go ghetto on its ass. And that is what I'm speaking to is I grew up a little bit ghetto in the most beautiful way. I had just the right amount of trauma to want to excel. I had just the right amount of poverty that I didn't know I was poor because I didn't know that eating cereal with water or having fish sticks for dinner most nights and cooking it yourself wasn't normal. I just thought, ah, because I've eaten, I still get a whiff of mac and cheese and go, from the box and go, oh, I grew up on Hamburg Helper. So it wasn't the kind of poverty that, anybody needs to pity me about, but it was the kind of growing up in a working class environment, neighborhood, but then in a single mother household. And so, I was a little bit poorer than even my friends who working class a lot of the times can still be under the poverty line. And this was in the 80s and 90s. Um, so there's that. So all the beautiful food that you eat on the government dime is not even as good now. You can take your food stamps now and go to Whole Foods and be like, yeah, I'm eating good. Then they were giving you blocks of government cheese. But anyway, this is not a pity party. That level, that like signature of me growing up like that made me want to figure out money. I've been working since I was 14 years old. And then that also made me realize that there were better jobs than some. So I took myself through college. I got scholarships in undergrad, and then I went into debt for getting a master's degree in clinical psychology because I wanted to figure out money. I wanted to be highly valued for gifts of helping. I always have, even as a psychotherapist, even though it wasn't working for myself at first. Um, I still wanted to have a high paying career. Now, I created a high paying career from the same gifts. I mean, coaching is just when I Googled how to make a living as a has been psychotherapist, coach came up. But coaching it's not even the right word to describe what you and I do. And so I have transitioned from calling you all coaches to calling you high value guides and facilitators of transformation. Even if a coaching certificate is what you have that qualifies you to teach and guide and coach, if you have life experience, or you're an Akashic Records reader, or you're a channel, or you're a mystic with challenges that you've come through, or you are a astrologer, or a human that also has business skills. Say you came from the corporate world and had a spiritual awakening, and now you're teaching sales to spiritual entrepreneurs like I am. um, that's amazing. I want to help you become highly valued for your gifts, presents, certifications, and programs. And so, what you need is to package up a program that actually reflects your current next era, the edge that you stand on. Because if your offer was going to work, um, okay, for your offer to work, you need four unconventional ingredients to make it work. And by working means not just that it is being sold, but that it works to get the people you have sold to results. Now, that is the difference between, somebody just an entrepreneur trying to make money any means possible, and packaging up your gifts into a program, an offer, a series of sessions that get real world change. Because if you're a workshop facilitator, or you're delivering one off sessions from your coaching certification, or your certifications, or your gifts, um, you know that people are not getting as wild amounts of transformation as you know they would if they stayed with you over the long haul. Now, I just put out a reel talking about how my clients stay with me for years, and that should tell you everything. And it's not because they don't get the transformation, it's because they want another one, or they want to elevate. And so they ascend with me through my ascension offers. They want to stay with me because they know my gifts, presence, and talents are a part of the work that they've done to get them to where they want to be, which is a filled up program, clients that know their offer by name, and higher caliber clients, folks that pay on time, that don't hem and haw for the decision, that aren't broke, that have money, and want to expand their lives, get better health, get the relationship, have a spiritual mentor by their side to create the thing that they want to create in their lives. So, all of that to say that I grew up with money problems, and this is why I teach folks like you and I, who don't seem like they should be making as much money as the CEOs and startups and software companies, but making as much money and being as highly valued, or even more highly valued than the CEOs of companies that are not really doing anything, in my spiritual opinion, that is benefiting the collective in the ways that your gifts and talents benefit the collective. Because everybody that comes through your program, even if it's one person at a time, so you help one person at a time. That's very beautiful. Great. So eat one person at a time, comes through your program, gets a transformation, feels better in their body, goes out there and puts themselves out there in new ways, whether they want the soul aligned relationship, or they want to learn how to dance, or they want to connect to their spiritual guides, or they want to feel vibrant and fully alive and have the best health of their life, whatever is your specialty, your niche. We're going to deepen that. If we were to work together, that's what I help my clients do, to not be general, but to be the one, to become non negotiable in the minds of somebody in your audience, going like, that's the one. But you feel the ripple effect of that. I feel the ripple effect of that. I help a woman out there put out her body of work, attract her clients, and then everyone that she helps, they go out and they help people, even if You're not helping other facilitators, which you totally can. This is very beautiful if you want to do something similar to what I do. Not the same, but similar. Um, we are both unique expressions of the divine. And yes, so very beautiful. Like, whatever it is that you're helping your clients through, they are going to feel better. They are going to elevate their lives. They're going to raise the standard on their lives in all sorts of ways. And they are going to become a transmission of change and elevation and walk differently in the world. And we are all going to feel that ripple effect. And that is my why. My why is not money. Money is the byproduct of staying connected to my why, speaking it into existence, and attracting clients that share the same values. Because even my clients who buy my self-paced offers, which are considerably, another word again that is not flowing out of my luteal mouth, that is considerably more accessible, they still get a transformation if they do the work. It is considerably harder to do the work completely on your own. And this is why in my school, you get a mix of self paced, and I'm there every week, every day, actually, Monday through Thursday. I host office hours. I just coached my client this morning on her question as she's putting together her sales journey for her people. Does she want to have this upsell or that upsell or no upsell at all? What are the benefits? What are the pros and cons? And this is in a program that is $250 a month. Was sending her a voice note this morning, very lovingly helping her decide. So while I love my mentorships, the difference between my high value offer that is mid ticket and the high value offer that is high ticket is privacy. But my if you don't mind privacy and you want personal help, my school is where it's at. And so that brings me to talking about your offers and the four unconventional ingredients that go in any high value offer, whether it's mid ticket, high ticket, low ticket. Let's get into it. Okay. So I wanted to pull up my notes because I definitely wrote down. So these are unconventional for a reason. I have a high value guidebook. I have two. So one is a bit more practical. It's a little bit older, but that has the four essential ingredients of high value guidance and offer that is high value. But today I want to give you some unconventional ingredients. And I also want to tell you about my new book. So, my new book is a little bit more fresh. It has more stories, it has more connection points, and it tells the journey of me making a ish ton of mistakes around money, around my purpose, around my mission, around showing up. And it talks about how we can scale without losing that creative edge, how we can grow our businesses without losing that creative edge. And I'm going to talk more about that today. But if you want the full transmission, it's in my book, freeyourcreativity.org / ebook high value, or it's in the description wherever I'm transmitting from today. So let's get into the first one. The first one I call creative tension. Ooh, isn't that fun? Creative tension. So, your offer shouldn't make people comfortable. Your content doesn't need to make people comfortable. Your offer doesn't make people comfortable because true transformation, everything that you want and everything that I want and everything that your client wants is on the other side of their comfort bubble. Now, you just heard me talk about how cozy, comfortable my house is, how many pillows I've collected, how cozy I am when I sleep. And it has taken me a lot of trial and error, a lot of living in weird ass places, in a van, in hostels in Morocco. Actually, when I was in Morocco, was given an apartment in trade to work at a hostel, and I was given money. I was a yoga teacher, so this was like I was paid well, and I was given an apartment. It was pretty cool. But everything has its give and take, pros and cons. Um, but I have lived in some weird places. So I have gotten extremely uncomfortable to lie back in the comfortability of saying, I have built a home from my gifts and presence. All of my income right now, by at the time of this filming, comes completely from my gifts, presence, talents, and artistry. The delivery of my offerings. And it's very beautiful. I work completely for myself as a solopreneur. Now, I had to work uncomfortable jobs and get that job that was a means to an end. I'm not telling anybody here that if they want, creative tension has nothing to do with you quitting your job that could potentially invest in a mentor and a guide that gets your level of artistry, that helps extract your level of artistry, your next era, your edge. Hi, that's me. I'm Christina Gomes, and I help you to your next era. A next wealth era. Money is the byproduct of this creative tension that you create with you and your offer, and you and your clients, and you and your audience. So, if your client is looking for deep transformation, they are also looking to invest in that deep transformation, because anybody wise knows to get to their next era, their next level, that it becomes easier, faster, more fun with a guide by their side. So they are not in need of convincing to invest in themselves. A higher caliber of client is not in need of convincing or need a written permission slip that they can spend their money on themselves. They are already searching for solutions to their problem. And your content gets to show up as that creative tension that allows them to see, okay, I'm met here. I am seen here. I am going to be asked to rise. I am going to be able to achieve that thing or release that thing or become that human that I say that I want to become. And that doesn't have to come with a cheap price tag. And most of us who invest in themselves regularly don't need it to. And I wouldn't hire somebody that was cheap. So, your value is created in the transformation. So, how much people pay and value your offer has to do with the transformation, but the transformation comes from you being willing to hold your clients to their vision, even if it makes them uncomfortable. And that only happens if you are able to be held to your vision, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And I have had clients who thought it was going to be a linear straight line, who thought that I was going to do the work for them. And of course, those clients quit. But I am not talking about attracting those folks anymore. You don't need to attract people who are not willing to do the work, and I don't attract them anymore. It's not going to be hard work. It's harder to sit back, playing small, working for a job that you know you don't want to work for anymore. But when you know that that job is providing the investment for your mentor, your coach, so that you can create what is it you want to create in your life, in our case, more clients, better clients, filled up programs, and doing it in a way that feels authentic and artistic. Creative tension is about the transformation. So when I was coaching my client today, I didn't just cheerlead her on, I gave her some insight into what thoughts were going to get her to the result she said that she wanted. And if she didn't want an upsell, a tripwire or whatever they call it in the business world, meaning sell something, people are signing up for her free class, and then she was deciding, did she want to sell something on the next page? This is called a tripwire in the industry. And you get to do whatever you want, and you decide what you want by creating that creative tension within yourself and understanding what thoughts are healthy, and do you want to lean into these thoughts or do you want to lean out of these thoughts. And she had me by her side to help her make these decisions that normally would have taken her weeks, months, that she can make it in one question, one afternoon, be done with it, and move on to the next decision, because entrepreneurship is decision after decision after decision after decision. And if you're still stuck in what to name your offer, or you're still stuck in, am I worthy to receive this payment? We got work to do, and that's okay. So, what truth are you afraid to say to your clients and subsequently to your audience? Because it might turn people off. Say that. That's the edge. That's going to create the creative tension. So then the second unconventional thing that's going to turn your work in the world from work into a body of work, into a frequency, into a high value, morphic field of energy that your next client wants to step into. So a mythic backdrop is the way that I'm saying your offer needs a story. Your author your offer needs a myth, a legend, a pivotal moment that drives your ability to share, that motivates you to attract people who want to go on this journey with you. So it's a world, it's actually a frequency. The story creates the world, the story creates the frequency. It could be an initiation that you take your people through. It could be the initiation that you've taken your people through. For example, before I decided to start really valuing my gifts as a yoga teacher, as a facilitator of transformation, as a psychotherapist, by becoming a high value guide, by becoming a coach, by becoming a mentor, I had gone on a journey that had to do with my health. But the journey and the story actually had to do with money. I was in Thailand. I've told this story recently, so I'm not going to go too deep, but I was in Thailand, gallbladder issues. I go to the hospital, find out I need emergency surgery. Can you believe that? Not able to get the surgery because I didn't have the cash on hand, I didn't have the money, and I didn't have insurance in Thailand. I mean, I know you can have travel insurance. Listen, I was a wild hearted digital nomad. I wasn't even doing a lot digitally besides writing a blog, but I wasn't making money at this point. I was volunteering at my teacher's school to live room and board. My ears are ringing. Ascension symptoms. And so this is the mythic backdrop, one of the pivotal moments in my life. I've had many. Another pivotal moment was when I packaged up my gifts into an online offer, but it was so low cost that I was not making money. I was making enough to be able to continue the business, but I wasn't being able to buy my pillows and anything else that I needed for my life. And so I had to go on that elevation journey of elevating my prices, and that's not easy. That's not easy because that will kick up the worthiness things. And I'll tell you right here right now, you are worthy. You can't put your worth on a price tag. You're infinitely worthy, but you can't put the infinity sign on your price tag. Even though one of my friends has a brand where his tag is an infinity sign, quite beautiful. It's a very beautiful energetic symbol, give and take. It's within everything. It's your clients give to you, you give to them, they invest in themselves, they go on and help the world. It's a very beautiful symbol, and you can't go like this and then have the investment paid. You gotta set up the checkout page or set up the invoice, and you gotta send it, and you have to send it with conviction in the power of your work. And that's the mythic journey that I take people through my work, through my body of work. So remember that myth. People don't just buy your process, they don't just buy your tools, they buy that portal, that whole transformation from where they are to where they want to be, and you get to tell your story of where you are were that matches that to where you are now. And even again, if you're going through things or you're not where you think you should be, you still get to show up and share and guide people through the things that you know are going to help them. Even if you're still struggling with your health, even if you're still struggling with your relationships, even if you're not making the amount of money that you'd like to be making. My example again is I know that I will be a millionaire someday, and that's just not the case right now. But I don't expect people to hire me, and I don't think it's a wise idea to hire someone just because they're a millionaire. I think it's a very wise idea to hire somebody who has the results to back it up, has the result page. You can check out freeyourcreativity.org and go to my results page, but has the results in their own life is okay. So if you don't have a page of results yet, you can create that. You will create that by filling up your offers and delivering to the best of your ability. You have to start somewhere, and you will master your craft and get better at delivery through that only, not through reading more books, not through taking more programs, but actually delivering your program. And this is what I help you to do. Package it up, but I'm also there with my clients through the delivery process, because that brings up a whole new set of questions, and I call them higher level problems. So this is why people ascend with me. Great. So people don't just buy our process, they buy the portal. So let's get into the third. I do have a call with a lovely potential client coming up. So I want to make sure that I get everything for you and have some time and space to read over her application. So the third is energetic boundaries. An underpriced offer isn't generous. An underpriced offer isn't generous. Now, this I am currently speaking to myself because I went on this beautiful journey of elevating my offer, of elevating my price, going from $200 for a course to 1,400 to 2,000 to 3,000 to 6,000, eventually $8,000. My $8,000 price point has gotten the biggest results for people because I do believe that the investment adds a level of oomph to to the whole process. You better believe those folks who paid 8K, whether in full or the payment plan, showed the F up and made a return on their investment. A lot of them in the first week of working with me, because there was no going back. They became somebody who invested in themselves in what other people would deem a crazy amount of money. When is it crazy? Or did I spend way, way less on one mentorship program than I did in my master's level education and get way more from a private personal coach and mentor than I ever did from my master's level education? It was good, it was great, it was grand, and people spend money on education and schooling and support all the time, way more. So why do we value the educational system that is failing us currently over somebody who has had the real life experience plus the certifications plus the results to back it up? So you probably have results to back it up that you're not sharing, and I can help you to move past that. And if you don't have the results to back it up, then we can get your first beta round of your program filled so that you do have that results page and you can focus on telling stories of your clients. Just like I told the story of myself right now, because I also then lowered my price. But this was for a year long school. I lowered my price at the beginning of the year because it was my foundational offer, foundational time, refining, defining, shifting into my next era. So the foundational members got um, an incredible deal, and for a year of coaching. Um, and now that we are almost through with the year, I know that next year the prices will go up. But the beautiful thing about that is the next enrollment period of my school is starting very, very soon, nowish. And the prices will remain the same. So it's 250 bucks a month, to get 6 months of guidance, or you can get the just the 8 week program for 888. So this is 10 times lower than my $8,000 price point. And I did discover that folks that invest in themselves bigger get better results, and that just is more fulfilling to me. So, having a price point that actually activates your people and positions your offer as valuable, this is going to also help your client to show up in the energy that they need to get the result that they're desiring. And so it's different price for different niches and for different businesses and for different audiences. But finding that price that you can be convicted in, that you can feel confident selling, and it could be a higher price than you feel confident right now. That's why you go on the journey with me, right? You want to feel the power of your work through your body, and it's expressed in your conviction and in your confidence. And that's the journey that I take people through. It's part of it. I also do a lot of practical work with people and practically helping them to price and create the invoices and the checkout pages. So, what would you need to change to show up fully and sustainably for the delivery of your offer? So, I am a devotional, committed person, and I'm going to show up no matter what I'm getting paid. And so, but it's just not sustainable for me to have this low of a price point and then be giving 20-minute voice notes to my clients. I didn't know that I was going to enjoy the office hours so much. And so I can't take that part out. And so it is such a valuable part of my program that the prices will go up in the new year, but you will get the best of me come October when we start another 8 week program on the art of scaling without losing your creative edge. So, how do you position your offer for $50,000 months without feeling like a sellout, without feeling like you only care about money, without feeling like you're just another person trying to position their offer for $50,000 months? You don't have to talk about that. You don't have to talk about the money. Your offer isn't about the money. And that's where people get so confused is they think if they're not making a certain amount of money that they're not a good guide. That doesn't make any freaking sense. Your offer probably isn't even about making money, and you're basing your value off of how much money you're making. It's crazy making. Stop that. And if you need some help stopping that, message me. Okay. So then the fourth is posture. Okay. Posture, not strategy. Although I give soul aligned strategy in all of my programs, I give a process that, if you repeat, is fail proof. All of my offers are backed by the universe, by a symbol called the Enneagram. That if you take every step, the Enneagram, you may know it as a personality test. Personality test, it is more than that. Its original blueprint is a divine step by step strategy for you to meet the hero in you. So I map the hero's journey onto this sacred geometry. So you go on a hero's journey in every 8 week program. It's a magical process. If you don't finish what you started, there are consequences. You're going to feel like shit because those who don't follow through, and that's why they don't get the results. And you don't get the rewards or the results until you've completed all the steps. So, if you want to know what these steps are, message me steps and I will talk to you more about it. I have a YouTube video on it called Soul Money Mastery. And I help all of my clients by guiding them through each of the steps. So, the strategies that you've been taught are not working for you because of your posture. You can write the perfect script and you can have this strategy, but if you're not taking the shape of somebody offering their gifts to the transformational fire, then you're not taking that shape. You're not taking that posture. You're not taking the posture of a high value guide. You're hoarding the gifts. Maybe you're taking a posture of the miser. Maybe you're taking the posture of the unconfident one. Maybe you're taking the posture of, am I worth it? Maybe you're taking the posture of apologizing, which is like this, apologizing for even existing. I want you to take up space right here, right now. Lean back, widen your hips. Oh, that feels good. Let your belly be soft. Take this posture. Your offer is sacred. Take the posture of understanding you don't need to chase. You don't need to chase clients. You don't need to chase invoices. Somebody wants to pay late in my world. I tell them there's a late fee after 11 days. After 11 days, another late fee is put out. Then you're kicked out of the program. I don't deliver my work for free, but I rarely, barely attract those kinds of people anymore because of the posture that I take. You're not going to come into my world and not invest in yourself. The investment is yours. The investment is yours. And people are going to pay for your presence, wisdom, and knowledge. You don't have to give that away for free. You don't have to chase people for invoices. You give them the invoice, you lean back, and you know that the right people pay. They don't need hand holding through the decision, especially if you're showing up with the kind of content that I teach you how to create in my Create method, in my Conscious Creative Business School, and in all of the programs that I teach on. The next one being about scaling your offerings to $50,000 months and beyond. So, clients need to feel your belief in what you've built. And if you can't sit back in the foundations that you built, then let us build those foundations together. So you don't need another strategy if you are delivering workshops, delivering your gifts. You don't need the perfect strategy, okay? You need first to build your offer from your soul's blueprint. And I teach you about that in the path of becoming a high value guide. So I also have a quiz that unveils your high value baddie archetype. So if you want to lean back in your sales process and go, everything is set up, the right people are coming through. I have belief in the body of work. I've put together a sales journey. I'm not just like believing in myself, but then don't have the means to bring people off of social media and into my body of work. This is not what I'm talking about. But we combine strategy with your soul's archetype first. But we need to know your soul's archetype. We need to know your high value baddie archetype. Then we can go around refining and realigning your business so that it actually works for you, not against you. So the four high value baddie archetypes are revealed in the book. But if you want to know your personal high value baddie archetype, go to the quiz. So you got to message me for the quiz. It should be on my website, freeyourcreativity.org / I believe it's quiz high value or high value quiz. But if you message me, then I can give you the um, transmission directly. It's also in the link in my bio, and it'll be the link in the description. But if you're watching on Facebook, message me. So I am transmitting in all sorts of places because I am here for you, for that person. I don't mind where you are. I don't mind where in the world you're located. And I don't even mind where in the process you are. You just have to know that you're ready for your next era, that your offerings, if packaged to precision, you would be delighted to attract clients into them. You don't, feel like your work isn't valuable. You now want to position your body of work, your work in the world as valuable by packaging up your gifts into your next era offer. And so we need to know your high value baddie archetype. I have a call with a potential client coming up. So I just wanted to bid you adieu. And when you know your high value baddie archetype, message me because I love to know if it's resonating with people. If they feel like, yes, it's so true. Like I've been having this kind of offering with this kind of vibe in my heart for a while, and I just needed the permission to be able to go on and package that up. And this is the journey from safe money to soul money. This is the journey from safe money to soul money. So if you want to know what it is that I'm talking about, you can go to my YouTube and research Google, search soul money mastery, and I'll give you that transmission of safe money to soul money. But yeah, you do want to be making soul money. Does not mean we need to release safe money. So if your offerings are working, we're going to move to that next era safely, soulfully, and with not a sense of urgency. And if your job is working, paying you enough to be able to invest in yourself, we're going to, at the $250 level or my mentorship level, whichever feels more aligned for you, the kind of support that you crave. It matters to me if you like a group, you don't mind people knowing your business, and you don't mind waiting in line to get your questions answered, then the group is really satisfying for a lot of people. People are getting a lot of results. Now is the time to join because in the new year, my prices will go up. So I would love to hear from you to see what kind of high value baddie you are and help you to elevate into the woman I see you as, the woman that I have to see myself as every day, even when things are not going perfectly my way. So we got this, you got this, and I'll see you next week. Bye.